Let's begin with the synopsis of last week. Last week, we read chapter 13 and 14 of Uma Samhita of the volume 3 of the Shiv Puran. In this, Sanat Kumara, in chapter 13, Sanat Kumara gave detailed description about the glory of Puranas. He said that the path of Puranas is the most excellent, and if any person listens or reads to even one of the 36 Puranas that are there, then one can attain salvation. And it gives you the benefit of sacrifice, it gives you the benefit of pilgrimage, penance, and if you donate charitable gifts, all in one combined. And if any soul performs, reads these things with devotion, then it can eliminate the sins and increase the virtue. So by this you can attain virtue, wealth, love, and salvation. In the next chapter, he also gave a general description of the charitable gifts. If when given to a needy person or to Brahmins, they can it can help the soul to cross the ocean of worldly existence. So some of these things include gold, gingerly seed, tawny colored cows, ordinary cows, chariots, and jewels and servants, etc. So one can benefit from giving charitable gifts to needy people. Today we will read chapter 15, which is the description of the netherworld, and chapter 16, which is the uplift from the hell. Today Urvashi Aunty will be reading these chapters in English. We do not have Hindi reading. Please enjoy the readings. And if you're also interested in reading the Shiv Puran, you could reach out to Seema Aunty, Rashmi Aunty, or me, and we can arrange a reading for you. Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji.
Jai Guruji, Anantam Shukrana for this divine seva. Chapter 15, Description of the Netherworlds. Vyasa said, "For the benefit of human beings, tell me that which when given as gift makes it possible to derive the benefit of all gifts." Sanat Kumara said, "Listen, I shall mention that gift on giving which at the proper time men obtain the benefit of all the gifts. This is the most excellent of all gifts. The whole universe shall be given as gift by those who desire salvation for crossing the ocean of worldly existence. A man becomes the lord of the 7 worlds with a fraction of the benefit that he obtains when the whole universe is given as a gift. The man who gives away the universe sports in the abode of the gods along with his kinsmen, as long as the moon and the sun are in the sky. Or the earth is steady, or everyone in the abode of the heaven dwellers is favorable. Afterwards, for rejoicing, he attains the region of Vishnu, which is difficult of access even to the gods." Vyasa said, "O Holy Lord, please explain the universe, its extent, its main soul, its support, and its structure so that I can have a full idea." Sanat Kumara said, "O sage, listen. I shall explain how high and how extensive is the universe. On hearing it succinctly, one gets rid of sins. That which is the unmanifest ultimate cause becomes manifest as Shiva, free from ailment. When that becomes dichotomized, Brahma is born of that in due course. Brahma creates the universe consisting of the 14 worlds. O dear, I shall succinctly explain that in proper order. Listen to it assiduously. The nether worlds are 7 only. The upper worlds are also 7. The height of the universe is twice as such, and it stands in the middle of water. Its support is the serpent Shesha. He is glorified as Vishnu. At the instance of Brahma, he supports all this. Even the gods and the asuras are incompetent to describe the attributes of Shesha, who is worshipped by the gods, sages, and the Ganas, and who is called as Ananta by the Siddhas. He has 1,000 hoods. By means of the 1,000 jewels on his hoods, he illuminates all the quarters. He has the brilliant ornament swastika. He has only a single earring. He has a crown and bears garlands. His eyes are rolling due to inebriation. He shines like a white fiery mountain. He is like a Kailasha mountain, which shines white due to the flow of the Ganga, but he wears a blue cloth and is inebriated. He is worshipped by the gold complexioned Naga virgins in this aspect, viz., the tips of his hands are in contact with the plowshare. He is bearing an excellent threshing rod. He is Rudra in the form of Sankarshana. He is brilliant with the flame of the poisonous fire. At the end of the kalpa, flames of fire come out of his mouth. After consuming the three worlds, they subside. Holding the sphere of the earth on his back, Shesha, the lord of Bhutas, stands at the root of Patala. He is worshipped for his endless attributes. The power of his virility cannot be adequately described, even by the ambitious gods, nor can his form be known. Who will adequately express his prowess? The series of his hoods, pink with the jewels, go round the entire earth like a garland of flowers. With his eyes rolling due to inebriation, when Shesha stretches himself, the earth quakes along with all its mountains, oceans, and forests. O excellent sage, each of the netherworlds extends to 10,000 yojnas. The seven netherworlds are Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Tala, Talatala, and the Patala. The seven worlds are beneath the earth, so say the learned people. The height of each of these is twice its extent. The surfaces of all are grounds of gems. The palaces are full of gems, and their terraces are made of gold. Danavas, Daityas, serpents, and Rakshasas of the Daitya region reside there. Narada, who came to heaven from the nether region, announced in the middle of the celestial assembly that the nether worlds are more beautiful than heaven. There, in all sorts of ornaments, lustre jewels are present. They are white and delightful. What is there equal to it? The nether region is here and there brightened up by the daughters of Daityas and Danavas. Even to the liberated soul, the nether region is pleasing. Which liberated soul does not like it? There, during the daytime, there are no sun's rays, nor the moon rays during the night. There is neither chillness nor bright sunlight. There is only the lustre of the jewels. O excellent sage, all sorts of foodstuffs and drinks are consumed there by extremely joyous persons. The time that passes by is not known there at all. The cooings of the male cuckoo are there. Lotuses are there. There are lotus ponds. There are rivers and lakes. Each of them is more excellent than the other. There the ornaments are very brilliant. The unguents are sweet smelling. O Brahmin, the sound of veenas, flutes, and mridangas can be heard there. There are songs everywhere. There the Daityas and serpents rejoice and enjoy pleasures. It is by performing penances that Danavas and Siddha beings attain the same. Chapter 16, Uplift from the Hell. Sanat Kumara said, O excellent sage, above the nether regions are the hells where the sinners are scorched. Listen to their description from me. They are Raurava, Shukara, Radha, Tala, Vivasvat, Mahajwala, Tapta Kumbha, Lavana, Vilohita. The river Vaitarni consists of putrid stuff flowing in it. Karmina, Karmi Bhojana, Asi Patravana, and Lala Baksha are the terrible hells. Puyavaha has usually flames of fire outside and is topsy-turvy. Sandarsa, Kalasutra, Tamas, Avisiro Sadhana, Svabhojana, Rasta, Maharaurava, and Salmali, these and other hells are there. All of these are very grievous. Men who are indulgent in sins are scorched there. O Vyasa, I shall mention them in order. Listen attentively. He who commits perjury except for the Brahmins, gods, and cows, and he who utters a lie always goes to Raurava. The following sinners, viz., the destroyer of the child in the womb, the stealer of gold, of cows, one who commits the breach of trust, the wine addict, the Brahmin slayer, the stealer of others' wealth, and he who associates with these go to the hell Kumbha. O Vyasa, he who kills his preceptor, sister, mother, daughter, or a cow too goes there. He who sells his chaste wife, he who is addicted to usury, he who sells tresses of hair, and he who forsakes a devotee, all these are scorched in red hot iron. He who insults preceptors, he who dismisses visitors and then dines, he who commits blasphemy, he who sells idols, and he who cohabits with forbidden women, all these, O Brahmin, go to Saptabala hell. A thief, a slayer of cows, a fallen man, a defiler of boundaries, the hater of gods, Brahmins, and pits, and the defiler of gems go to Krambibhaka hell. They eat worms and other displeasing things. The base man who eats before pits, deities, and gods, and he who ignorantly or deceitfully misquotes sacred texts, these go to Lala Baksa hell. The Brahmin who associates with evil men and is surrounded by outcasts, the Brahmin who officiates as priest in the sacrifice of undeserving persons and eats forbidden food, and he who sells soma juice, these fall into Rudiraga hell. He who spoils honey and creates disturbances in the village falls in the ruthless river Vaitarni. Those who are arrogant in the freshness of youth, who transgress the bounds of decency, who are unclean and who maintain themselves on the earnings of unchaste women, go to Karmya hell. He who cuts off trees without purpose goes to Asipat Ravana hell. Those who hunt deer with Sura Praksa, arrows with horseshoe-shaped heads, fall into Vaijinivala hell. O Brahmin, the Kshatriya, or the Vaishya, who swerves from the path of good conduct ultimately fall into hell prescribed for dog-cooking chandalas. Those who drop sacred rites in the middle and those who are fallen off from their duties in accordance with the stages of their life fall into the hell, Sanda Mabsha, where the tortures are very terrible. The students who are guilty of nocturnal emission of the semen and of others who do not properly educate their sons fall into the Svabhojana hell. There are hundreds and thousands of these and other hells where thousands of sinners undergo tortures and are scorched. These sins and others are thousands in number, similarly, which the beings in the hells experience and try to wipe off. Those who perpetrate misdeeds, contrary to the injunctions of caste and stages of life, whether physically, mentally, or verbally, fall into hell. The beings in the hells are seen standing upside down by the gods in the heaven. These beings see the gods also similarly with heads down beneath them. Immovable beings, plants, etc., and movable beings, worms, insects, birds, beasts, righteous men, gods, and liberated beings, all these are equal in number in heaven as also in hell. A sinner who is averse to the performance of expiatory rites goes to hell. Swayambhuva Manu has ordained expiatory rites for great sins and small expiatory rites for small sins in the Kali age. Of the many rites mentioned by the way of expiation, the remembrance of Shiva is the greatest. If a person commits a sin but repents after committing it, it is also an expiation. There also the remembrance of Shiva is the greatest expiation. A man remembering Lord Shiva in the midday or other occasions attains Lord Shiva. By remembering the Lord in the morning, night, or dusk, he gets his sins eliminated. It is only by remembering Shiva, the Lord of Uma, that a man attains salvation, the annihilation of all pains or heaven. O leading Brahmin, japas, homas, worship, etc. are obstacles in the path of sins. O excellent sage, they do not occur anywhere in the three worlds. The attainment of the status of Indra, Lord of the gods, is the fruit of the merit attained in japa, homa, worship, etc., performed by the man whose mind is in Lord Shiva. O sage, He who devotedly remembers Shiva day and night never goes to hell, since his sins are eliminated without any vestige. O excellent Brahmin, sin and merit indicate hell and heaven. One is conducive to misery and the other to pleasure and rebirth. That at the outset is conducive to happiness but later brings in misery. Hence, ultimately, everything is of the nature of misery. There is nothing, in fact, of an invariably pleasurable nature. Happiness and misery constitute only a temporary transformation of the mind, but knowledge is the greatest Brahman. Knowledge is conducive to the understanding of reality. The entire universe, consisting of the mobile and immobile beings, has knowledge as its soul. O sage, there is nothing greater than the perfect knowledge of the greatest being. Thus, the entire sphere of the hell has been explained by me. Hereafter, I shall explain the sphere of the earth. With this, I conclude chapter 16 and tonight's reading. Thank you. Jai Guruji.